Okay, our last picture we want to do is that of fetal circulation. So we got some it's a different situation here in that while the baby is still in the womb, their lungs are not inflated and they're getting the oxygen from mom's blood, obviously. So let's draw out these structures. The labels for most of these things, as you're going to see, are up in the top part of this page, which you can glance at up there while I'm kind of filling some of this in this way. All right, we're going to color that all in pink. That's going to be for oxygenated here. All right, so these structures here that we're seeing labeled right here in pink, this large thing here is going to be our umbilical, our single umbilical vein. So you have a single umbilical vein. Now down here, we're going to fill this in here. This whole entire structure is the placenta. All right, so that's the placenta there. And then wrapped around the umbilical vein, you can see a pair of what are referred to as umbilical arteries. So we have two umbilical arteries here. So let's label those right there. Umbilical arteries. And we'll put a 2 there, so we know there's 2 umbilical arteries and 1 umbilical vein. Then as the blood flows up towards the inferior vena cava right here, okay, this structure here is known as the ductus, D-U-C-T-U-S, venosus. And again, spelling up on top. Venosus, okay? Ductus venosus, right there. Yeah. That blood is going to flow up here into the inferior vena cava, which you can see labeled over there. Okay, and that's going to take blood into the heart. Now, right here, you can actually see, and let me highlight it right here, a little hole with an opening, dotted line. Okay, and what that is showing you right there is the hole between the right and the left atrium, which is called the foramen ovale. Okay, the foramen ovale, and that's going to allow blood to go straight from the right atrium to the left atrium, bypassing the pulmonary circulation. Okay, and then we have one more bypass system right here, and you can see this arrow going right here, and that is taking blood from the pulmonary trunk and taking it right into the aorta. So that structure right there, we'll label it up here. Okay, it's called the ductus venosus. Okay, the ductus, sorry, messed that up for you. Ductus arteriosus. We've already done the ductus venosus, okay? Ductus arteriosus, all right? Sorry about that, all right? Doing this with the camera and trying to watch it in the camera at the same time as doing this makes it tough. All right, so those are the 5 main structures you have: umbilical artery, umbilical vein, ductus venosus, foramen ovale, ductus arteriosus. Now, once we're born and we start to breathe on our own, most of these structures are going to be no longer necessary. So a lot of them are going to shrivel up and just become remnants or leftovers, and once they do that, they have new names because we can still see parts of them. So we got to know the names for each one of these. So let me give you the new terminology. So the foramen ovale is going to close up, okay, and become the fossa ovalis. Okay, fossa ovalis. Enlarge that a little bit more for you, okay. The ductus arteriosus is going to shrivel up and become the ligamentum arteriosum. Okay. Ductus venosus will pretty much dry up too. Become the ligamentum venosum. Ligamentum venosum. Umbilical vein is going to become what we refer to as the ligamentum teres, T-E-R-E-S, just like our muscles, our teres major and our teres minor muscle. But it's also known by another term, which is called the round ligament. And I'll just abbreviate ligament, L-I-G. Okay, umbilical cord we will clamp off and tie, all right? And either end up with an innie or an outie on that. The two umbilical arteries then are going to become the medial umbilical ligaments. I'll abbreviate LIG, ligaments, okay? Medial umbilical ligaments, all right? So that's essentially what our fetal circulation is, and then once we go through our notes, we can tie all that back together in the outline and kind of reaffirm that whole thing right there, okay? Great.